All right. Hello, everyone. I don't know if anyone's going to show up because it is quite late. Well, for me at least. Um, but since last time, I filled out these. I don't know if I did this on stream. I don't think I did. I did this pattern, which is quite lovely, after I stopped streaming. And then I did this just now. And I'm copying it here. So my goal for the day is to do this and finish these squares here, and then I'm going to do a little bit of messing with these tiles to make them just a little less uniform with a square right here, a texture right here, and that'll probably be it for the night. I was going to call this a finale, but the finale would involve texturing all of these areas in between, and I don't think I'm going to actually finish that. That feels like something I think I can do quickly but can't. So just going to be a little more realistic and conservative in what I can claim to do in a single half hour or so stream. Anyway, go ahead and hide the objects with Control H if you did not know that. It's very useful. I had a mixed day today. I felt both productive and unproductive. I made a tutorial, which is always good, but it's a very niche tutorial and I'm not sure if it's of any use to anyone, if I'm being honest. But I didn't really explain why it works, but I'm just kind of struggling to find the words to explain how it works to begin with. But I tend to store my thoughts more as concepts than words, or maybe even images, so that's kind of a tricky thing for me. Explaining, I should say. All right. Anyway, so now I want to do... Ooh, can I? Yes, I can. Get some, well, you know, let's play it safe and get some rather obvious... Yeah, I can't do that. Alright, it's the same rules as before, but I've kind of screwed myself over a little bit. Oh well, and how skinny I made these. But that's okay, I think. The music we're listening to is Netherstorm from Burning Crusade in World of Warcraft. Not super noteworthy, but I really dig the ambience. I don't know if that's just me being weird, but I do. Oh, I made the exact same pattern there. I just have a thing for the ambient music, I guess. It doesn't get you pumped or anything, but it's nice to listen to as background noise, depending on how it sounds, I suppose. I'm really setting myself up for a repeating pattern here, aren't I? I don't know. Not much I can do with how I painted myself into a corner. Ha! Painted myself. Anyway. Do these now. Oops. Incidentally, I don't know what kind of music people want me to play. Like, to some extent, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, but I'm open to input. Like, I can put on more active stuff. I can put on... I can keep it to this ambient stuff that's just very simple and hopefully inoffensive. um, anyway, if you have opinions on what kind of music I should play, let me know. It has to be copyrighted, so more than likely it's going to be game music, which I like, but I don't know about you guys. I suspect many of you will not mind that fact. There's a lot of video games I've played over the years that I like the music from, but that's probably not a surprise to anyone. Now we turn this back. And we save. Saving liberally is always a good idea. Also doing backups, which I am not doing liberally, but I should. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and be a good little mapper and make a backup right now. Let's see. Go find my backup and there. Now if anything crashes this map, I have a backup from this point, which is almost basically done. So that's pretty good. This is a good point to have as a backup. Alright, let's see. Moon Ground 01. Do I want one? Yeah. I'm gonna be crazy and try this instead. Let's see. Urban Gribble. Oh, it's that one. Anyway. I don't have a lot to talk about right now, I'm afraid. Oh, autosave. Well, what I'm planning to do here, I suppose I can talk about that, is I want this tile to, so it's going to be a soft texture, but because it's to the right and down, that's how the rule goes. It goes right like this in terms of what has priority for hard texture, soft texture. Because it's like this, you see how that covers that, but not these. That's because these are hard textures. This is a hard texture that is covering this. It's very complicated, honestly. But if I do, so I'm gonna like, yeah, see, if I overdo it, then it doesn't. Hard textures are so hard to. I don't think I can really explain it to you here, but that's okay. Probably, I think you'll forgive me. I've done a video explaining it somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, just gonna spread them out. Basically, have some. Why do they have to do these exact numbers? Have some distortions colored in, if that makes sense. That's my goal for this. Ugh. Well, I chose terrible numbers for patterning this, but what you gonna do? Well, I did kind of shoot myself in the foot here, but that's probably okay. I'll just make sure I do a good job with the other ones. And I did kind of know I was screwing myself over with this one. Good morning, Rian. Anyway, I was just saying I kind of screwed myself over with how I patterned these, but that's okay. All right, let's do this one. And everybody's asleep here, so I don't want to stay up too late. That's why I'm probably talking softer than usual, though. If it ever seems like I talk too quietly, it's partly my voice, yes, but it's also that, well, I got a Corsair microphone, and it's fantastic in every regard, or headset, and it's fantastic in every regard, except it does not pick up my voice super well, and apparently that's just a problem Corsair headphones have. So I actually have everything as maxed as I can every time like I get a setting with headphone controls on Discord or anything. First thing I do now is like max out my voice, and it's still usually quiet for people and people have to turn me up. It's very frustrating because it feels like you're being silenced, I guess, even though it's just faulty hardware. I usually like Corsair items, but it's very frustrating. It is a good headset otherwise. I mean, other than not doing the one thing you really want it for, but it's got a nice little thing on the side where I can flip it up and down, and that just mutes it instantly without me having to do anything else. And that's nice. I do have kind of a soft voice, though. It's definitely fiction. Americans aren't considerate. Ah. See, this is going much better than the previous one. Well, I'm still making mistakes, but that's okay. So what Control Z is for. All these corners are doing me good. Oh, not that. Last night, I watched The Spirits Within with some friends, the Final Fantasy movie, and so it came out in like 2001, and I will say, for 2001, the CGI is kind of fantastic, but apparently it was partly done by Lucasfilm, so that's probably a big part of it. But like, by 2001 standards, that's like they're exceptionally good. Um, as a story, it's kind of crap. It's not good. I was struggling for it, but it had a star-studded cast, so it's not like you can make fun of the voice acting because the voice acting was actually fine. I wasn't too keen on the main female character's voice, but like it wasn't awful either. There was no like, oh my god, it's so bad moment. Uh, yeah, it was better than I expected. I was expecting complete trash. As a story, it was very hard to follow. Um, not, I would not recommend as a fan, as in that regard. But we had fun watching it together, so that's what's important. Um, Another very valid complaint is that prior to Final Fantasy 13, it is absolutely nothing like Final Fantasy. Um, you can see how. Okay, so it's 2001, so this would be maybe around Final Fantasy 10. I'm not sure. And that is around when Final Fantasy started to double down on the sci-fi stuff. But even then, I don't think anything in 12 11's kind of traditional, I guess. Anything in 12 or even 14 is quite on the level of well, 14's all over the place because out of necessity references, but even still the general fantasy of 14 is nowhere near what this thing was. Like, this was just straight up a sci-fi movie. um the only Final Fantasy game I think that comes close is probably 13. Like, this definitely felt like it was set in 13's universe, which we had to double check the date. It actually came before 13, so there you go. It was probably an inspiration for it or something. But like, as a movie, like, the animations holds up fine, which I did not expect. I was expecting like it to be very dated, but I guess if you get Lucasfilm involved, it's gonna be good. At least it would. At least while it was under George. I don't know. I guess it's fine now, but it's not very inventive like it used to be. Not as much anyway. But that's another topic. It also has Alec Baldwin as the main male character, which, oh, it felt so weird. My friends and I kept joking that the main female character's name was Lemon, like Liz Lemon from 30 Rock. It's hard to hear Alec Baldwin in an action movie. Like, he's not a bad voice actor or anything, but it's hard to like hear his voice on like a different face. It was something, all right. Um, if you need a bad movie night, it's all right. Oh, fuck, come on. Ugh. Autosave screws me again. So anyway. Ooh, I don't want to do that actually. I'll have to remember that. Because if I cover all three, then this circle goes away entirely. The square goes away entirely. Noted. So anyway. Um, I think my problem with talking is that I tend to have a lot to say about certain things if I like the topic occurs to me. But otherwise, I just don't really have a lot to say to people. People sometimes find it a little off-putting, but then people also like it about me. It's definitely one of my mixed traits, where I pretty much only do straight talk, no small talk, and people love it or they hate it. Had one person describe it as a very jarring thing about me, but like once he got used to it, he liked it because it meant he could stop putting on it. Like, well, this was in the deep south, and he said it was nice to like not have to put up bullshit and just talk straight. But then again, he was kind of a liar about a lot of things. I don't think he was lying about that, but I kind of think he probably liked the lying too much. So I don't know if I was actually giving him what he wanted as much as he said. That's a really mean thing to say, but I mean, nobody knows who he is, so. And he did kind of flake out as a friend, but whatever. The hell are you talking about, Rayon? I did this wrong. Let's try that. There we go. Oh, I gotta do these. Oh. Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. Sorry. Let me scoot this over so I can actually see the chat better. I suspect that the well, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that the chat updater attached to OBS is actually a couple seconds slower than just having the YouTube video open. So there you go. Anyway. Yeah. I never really know what to do at parties. I'm very much an introvert, which isn't probably a huge surprise to anyone, but I can fake being an extrovert for a while. I'm actually pretty good at it when I like really focus on it, but it's exhausting. I think I'm better at it in text anyway. To some extent, I guess. No, I do have a stage presence when I want it, but I'm not always good at turning it on. Oh, this looks so ugly with how it's stained, but I also love it. Let's see how this looks. It looks exactly the same. Almost. Maybe I should be something stupid and like this. Ooh. It adds like a smeared element, which I almost like. Interesting. Very interesting. Although I don't know if it looks good, actually. Looks kind of odd. I think I just want the discoloration more than the smear. Well, maybe I'll try it different. I don't know if I've brought this up on stream before. Oh, let me save. But I actually come from a family of, well, it's a moderately big family of 6, but 5 out of 6 are introverts. Technically, my youngest brother is an introvert and extrovert, or whatever that means. He says it. But it sounds right, so for what I know about him, so I'll believe it. But every other sibling and both of my parents are very strong extroverts, especially my dad and my sister and my brother, my other brother. But I am an extremely strong introvert. However, I've found that I do have like the same I wouldn't necessarily say social skills, but I have like the same ability to put on charisma at times. Usually one-on-one though, like almost exclusively one-on-one, because I found that like when I talk to people one-on-one, I almost have like the power to manipulate them if I want to, and it feels weird because I don't like controlling people I don't know if I think I brought that up once with mapping. No, not on stream, but like my whole thing is I like controlling things but not people. Um, so it's a little weird that like in one-on-one I can be very persuasive and yet I am completely not that way at all in groups. Like I'm actually quite awful at debate uh, in public. But I think, and so my theory is that it's less that I'm manipulating people and more that my way of talking is so straightforward that people aren't necessarily thrown off, but they don't employ the same level of guardedness that they do around most others. And I'm not saying this is everyone, but I've noticed this with a lot of people. And so people will tell me like dark secrets about themselves that they normally wouldn't bring up. And it's just kind of interesting. I don't really judge or anything most of the time, but I think it's just also that I kind of want to know because I don't really do the small talk. So it's more like this conversation is more interesting to me if we actually talk about something real. I don't know. I might be rambling a bit. It is quite late, but I don't know. It's something I've noticed, like, especially in text in MMOs, you get a lot of very shy players, and so I'm like introverted enough to talk to a shy person, but social enough, thanks to my family, of like nonstop social butterflies, inviting people over all the time, that I can talk to people in a captivating way. That's what I'm told anyway. It feels weird to say that, but that's how it's been described to me. And it's weird because I always feel like I'm wasting people's time when I talk to them. I don't know. I like this music. I mean, it's just ambience, but I like the haunting sounds. Oh, dang. Oh, you can't? Let me turn it up on the OBS because I probably did have it down pretty low out of fear of it being too loud. Let's see. It was minus 19. Now it's minus 10.5. How's that? It's not the loudest music to begin with, so. Really? Okay. Actually, could it be this instead? Maybe I was using the wrong slider. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, I was using the wrong slider. That explains it. Tisk tisk. All right. Let's go and save there, just to be safe. Well, I'm sorry for everyone who didn't hear the music. that might be watching this later. If there's anyone who does that, but we're probably almost done, but the song's almost over, but I still want to actually finish this part. I said I would, so I should. It can't take me that long anyway. After this, there was a prop I wanted to get made, but as an edit of existing props. So hopefully not too hard, but I gotta bribe the right person to actually make it. And then it'll just be a matter of cleaning up the markers. And let's see. Oh yeah, diversifying these textures of the fort, or ruins, temple, whatever. Alright, that's another one. Let's save. It's a little liberal, but let's be safe. I find I tend to go back and forth between being convinced of my own, I don't want to say superiority, but like competence, and then flipping to absolute certainty that I'm useless. And I think it's important to try to ignore both voices. Since that's cursed. But it's just, I don't know, I think it's important to like not let anxiety and whatever else direct you. And I've gotten better at that, I think. I don't want to over pattern it. This is very TBC right here. It's actually a bit Warcraft 3 like. Sounds like something they'll play for the Night Elves. I found I don't miss World of Warcraft that much. Part of me wants to go back to like just do stuff in the old open world, which WoW does not support its old open world at all. It's pretty terrible, which is sad because like it has so much more than most MMOs do, but it kind of destroys itself. But I found myself, and I guess this is sort of cursed, but I found myself wanting to go back and play archaeology stuff. Let's check how this looks with the other with the second nature setting. Huh. It's actually not that much different. Well. I think that'll probably do it for today. Apologies about the music. It should be fixed future going forward at least. I can see where I made a difference, but I feel almost like it's not enough. Maybe I'll try rotating it after all. Get it fucked up. Thing, make it look smeared and dirty. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, I guess. Let's save. Alright, it's been 36 minutes or so. I did say I'd go a half hour, so I can probably stop there. I hope, well, you have a nice day, Rayon, and anyone else watching or watching later, you have a nice day as well. I'm gonna go to bed. Sorry, I took a sleeping pill. Oh, is this a mistake? It is, yeah. Okay, let's fix this. What the fuck? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing apparently. There we go. Okay. For a good measure, let's reset the AI zones. I'll have to do that again later anyway. Save, and we'll call it there. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a good, well, I'll have a good night, hopefully. You have a good day. Night.